I want to do an example of an equation of a plane that doesn't involve x, y, and z. So for this example, we have 2y minus z equals 4. Now we're missing the x variable. So when we're missing the x variable, what that tells us is that the x value can go anywhere it wants. It can, it could be, if x was 5, this equation would still hold. If x was 10, this equation would still hold, right? The x value isn't constraining the equation. So what that means is that if I can find the relationship, or I can find values that fit into this equation, then the answer is going to be parallel to the x-axis, because whatever points are on this line, right, that's a line, because it's an equation of two variables, that line will then be sort of, you could almost think of it as being stretched out along this x-axis. So let's find 2 points that fit this line. So if I set y equal to 0, that tells me that z equals -4, which tells me that the point 0, 0, -4 is a point that we could put on the line. So I could have this point here. And then I could set z equal to 0, which tells me that y would equal to 2, which tells me that the point 0, 2, 0 is also in the plane. Now, I didn't have to pick 0 for x's here. I could have picked any number I wanted, but 0 is just kind of easy. We're already on the axes. Don't overthink it. So now I have 0, 2, 0. So let's connect these. Let's draw the line that would connect those 2 points. So that's a line that goes through x and y, but we want the plane. So since x can go anywhere, we know that this line, so since this point's on there, we also know that that point's on there. We also know that that point's on there, that point's on there, and so on and so forth. The x value doesn't matter, so I could take this line and I could slide it along the x-axis, and there wouldn't be any issue. So if I take this, and I take this point, and I draw a parallel axis to the x-axis, and I take this, and I draw a parallel axis, then what I've generated here is the plane. Now this was a little bit difficult because it's kind of tight, and practice is going to make perfect, and whiteboards are terrible for this sort of thing. Ideally, if you're doing this, do it with some sort of graphing paper or straight edge, whatever. But this is the fundamental idea. You do that. Now, I want to talk just a little bit. What if I had only the case where I said like z equals 4? Well, in that particular case, you would plot one point, and then since it could slide on any point on the x-axis or any point in the y-axis, you just have that point, and it's sort of like a shifted xy plane. Just have that, and it just goes, so it's this flat plane. And that's how you would graph it if you only had a single variable.